This is the Five for Fighting podcast.
This is the Five for Fighting podcast.
Fantasy hockey, breaking down the lines, matchups, injuries.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Five for Fighting podcast. This is our first episode of our Olympic mini-series. We're going to step away from our regular episodes while the Olympics are going on. And after every Canadian men's game, we're going to bring you some updates, highlights, and talk about the Olympics all the way through. We might not have all of us here for each Olympic episode, but the crew we got will take you through it. And off we go. So, Devin, first, I wanted to get into the Canadian women struggling a little bit against the U.S. here.
Yeah, I've really been loving that we've been able to dive into the women's game a bit more. There's been a few standouts that have really impressed me. Obviously disappointed to see Canada get absolutely demolished by the U.S. team. I think you sent out a graphic where they've lost 7 straight to the U.S.
7 straight over the past year. Yeah, they're really struggling against the U.S.
So, yeah, I was not aware that the U.S. had that much of a stronghold. I looked at it more that they were a bit deflated from Marie-Philippe Poulin's injury. All reports are showing she should be back for the quarterfinals on Saturday, so a nice little silver lining there. But yeah, the U.S., they look phenomenal. They've allowed 1 goal. Every other game, they've scored 5 goals in every game, and they allowed 1 goal to Czechia early on. So they are steamrolling. Sweden's look good as well, though. Sweden's in at 4-0, and then Canada, they beat Finland this afternoon. Nice 5-0 shutout. So they're rolling along too. They're still 3-0-1. So there's your big 3 in the women's game. And then a nice surprise actually is Germany. They've got a player, her name's Laura Kluge. She's got 3 goals, 4 assists, and a +6 through her first 4 games. In the
Nice, good for her.
PWHL, she's only got 1 assist in 13 games playing for Boston Fleet. But she's really stepping it up here in the international, which is really good. She's represented for 8 world championships. So it's not like she's a nobody, but yeah, really find her game. The other one that's really stood out is Caroline Harvey. I knew nothing about this girl, but she's a defenseman for the U.S. She's got 2 goals, 5 assists, and a +10 in 4 games played. But even crazier, so she's won IIHF Best Defenseman in the year 2023 and 2025 at those World Championships. But right now she's at the University of Wisconsin as a defenseman, 17 goals, 37 assists for 54 points in 26 games and a +35. Yeah, she's the female Makar, just an offensive weapon back there, and obviously getting it done on both sides with that kind of plus minus. So, yeah, I've really loved tapping in and learning more about these women. I don't dive into the PWHL enough, and this has kind of inspired me a little bit. Lastly, on the Canadian team, so we won 5-0. Great, and like I said, we're rolling in third. We're going to be okay. It should come down to Canada, US in the final. Big thing right now. So we've got Julia Gosling. She had another point today. So I think she's got 4 points in 4 games. She's leading the way for the Canadian women. I'm not seeing anything out of Sarah Nurse, Sarah Fillier, Natalie Spooner. So you've got those big names, and we're kind of lacking that firepower right now. I'm looking at it both as a glass half empty, but glass half full. My hope is that they're starting slow, but once they find their groove, I'm really optimistic for the medal round. So, like I said, Canada's still in good shape, but they really need to step up come the weekend.
Just got to figure out how to take out the U.S. because, yeah, like I said, they're struggling the whole year. Sarah Nurse, she was injured, I think, to start the year. She came back. I think she's got 4 or 5 games in. She's playing well in the PWHL. She just got to transfer that to the Canadian game. Her teammates really need that. They need her to step up. She's an absolute unit when her game is on. So, need to
and
get
like
her
you were
rolling.
saying there, like it's you have that the top players aren't performing right now. So I mean, once you get them performing, and as long as the secondary keeps performing as well, I don't think if like you said, it comes down to U.S. and Canada in the finals. As long as everyone on Canada is rolling the way they should be, it'll be a very good. It'll be a different game than what we saw the other night.
I agree. A gold medal game changes everything, no matter the
Well,
team.
and it's like Devin was saying, like you look at people that don't have as many points in the league, and then they come in here. And what was her name there? You said was leading the
Laura
Germany.
Kluge. Laura Kluge.
Yeah, like like 1 point in
13
the
games.
league that she has,
Hmm.
and then you come into the international. I mean, it's like anyone else. Like when you put on your country's jersey, it changes you, right? Like you look at, for example, we'll get into it in a bit, but Binnington, the guy couldn't stop a goddamn beach ball for the St. Louis Blues over the last, I don't know, 3 months. But then he comes into the Canada game today and 36 save shutout.
Yeah.
So so the women's and the men's team both got 5-0 shutouts today.
Yeah, it's lovely. So we'll get to the Canadian men in a bit, but any of the other men's games stand out to you, Zach?
The U.S. one stood out to me today. It was a very fast-paced game. They played Latvia. They played them today, and it was. I mean, the U.S. ended up winning 5-1, but I mean, for the first period, it was a well-fought game between both teams. I think U.S. had maybe 2 or 3 called off goals.
I think I read for 2, but I was reading it as it was happening, so it might have been more later on. But I know there was definitely 2 called off goals.
Yeah, so 2 goals, but I think both of them one of them was offside. I think that was Hughes's goal. Might have been the offside one. Brady Tkachuk opened the scoring off of a nice pass from his brother, but no, they went through and they did well, and U.S. won. And I mean, we expect the U.S. to do just as good as Canada, right? But I mean, I was also surprised over the Sweden and Italy game. I was also more surprised of how many Canadians were on the Italy team. Like they kept saying I kept calling the names, and it was one of them was like, oh, from Ottawa, and then Calgary, and I'm like, what is that? Even the women's team, they were like the goaltenders from Calgary, Alberta, and I'm like, but how is she playing? But it's dual citizenship, right? But I mean, you look at the same thing with Heatley back in the day. He had dual citizenship as well. So right, he was born, I think, in Germany. Was it Germany he was born in?
Germany sounds right for him.
Yeah, Germany for him, but he was a citizen there because he was born there. But his parents were Canadian, or his father was Canadian, right? So, but he played for Team Canada. But no, those games stood out, and also Sweden for a bit there. Like I said, the same thing with the U.S. game today. Italy gave them a run for their money in the first couple periods.
I give it to their goalie, their young goalie, Damien Clara, prospect for the Anaheim Ducks, stood on his head, 46 save performance. He kept his team in there. They shouldn't have sniffed Sweden. They shouldn't have done anything, and he kept his team alive.
Who did I see posted? I think it was maybe Ryan Whitney posted. Do you think Team Canada can sign him for the rest of the tournament?
No, it wasn't Canada. I think he was calling for the Oilers.
Was it?
It was. It
Oh,
was. Yeah, I seen
probably
that post too.
Edmonton, get him now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there you go. But it was crazy. But I was also a little surprised to see Nylander play after he wasn't supposed to play, and then he hasn't played for the Leafs in
He's been
3 weeks,
up and down all year, man.
3 months, arguably,
right? So,
but and then he
Yeah,
comes
so
in.
you
And
look
got
at
the
that.
winner.
He couldn't play for the Leafs in the last couple games there and stuff like that. And then he comes to Sweden to play for Sweden, and it's like nothing ever happened.
Hopefully he returns in that form to Leafland. As much as I don't want to see Austin Matthews do anything against Canada, I hope he has a great tournament every other game and brings it back to Toronto as well. But
yeah,
no, that game stood out to me. The Sweden-Italy game. The big one there being Italy is not supposed to do anything in this tournament, but they're the home nation. They got the home crowd. That just lights a fire under your ass, man. Oh, does it ever? And I'd love to see them push some teams. I really would. I don't. They're obviously going to come, 10th to 12th in the tournament, but I'd like to see them do some special things. Another team that stands out for me is Germany. I got Germany as a sleeper team. Draisaitl, Seider, Stutzla, and Grubauer on the back end. not so hot in the goalie part, but those are some big names in the NHL. And even if you put a remotely decent team around them, they can do some fucking damage. And
For sure.
I think Draisaitl is going to light a fire under those guys' ass, and they're going to make some
They've
surprises
got a
across this
team.
tournament.
They're not as thin as you think.
Mhm.
They've got a lot of former NHLers.
Yes.
And then you add in the top end firepower of Cider, Leon, Timmy. Yeah, I think you're right. They are a dark horse that could kind of sneak in. I was also really impressed with the Slovakia game, and I feel for Finland. I feel like Finland's always been hurting, so this year they're without Barkov. But I mean, the Slovakians, they were led by a young core and Slavkovsky, the clip of ours that's been going around, him being a mutant, well, he looked like one the other day.
He
He
looked
was
fantastic.
phenomenal. 2 goals.
Yeah.
He almost had the hat trick other than he
Yep.
lost his stick, but ended up getting the point. And then the other guy is a young prospect. He was 10th overall in the 2023 draft for St. Louis, Dalibor Dvorsky. He's a guy I've been following for a while, and he popped one in there as well. I think he got the go-ahead goal. He looked great. He's played third line, but top line power play center. He's another one I've got my eye on. So good to see both those guys coming through. And they've also got Simone Nemec, who New Jersey Devils, right D man. He looked good as well, running their power play. So they've got some really
Nice.
young, like super young talent. So they could be another dark horse as well for the youth uprising.
Yeah. And one thing
Yeah.
I will say, you go back, even 15 years ago, us in the US plus Russia, we dominated all these tournaments across the board. 4 nations, Olympics, whatever. Anytime nations faced off, those are the teams. Sometimes Finland, sometimes Sweden, but mainly Canada, US, and Russia. I give credit to the hockey world because the game has come a long way from where it used to be, and a lot of other nations have stepped up massively to improve their games and their training and all that stuff. And you're getting better competition across the board, World Juniors included. Like hockey is growing, and I love to see it.
No, you're spot on there. Canada's still the cream of the crop because you look at the top end talent in the world, and most of them reside on our team. I mean, look at Sam Reinhart as a fourth liner on Team Canada, and he's a top liner and you potentially top player on a lot of other Olympic rosters. So Canada's still there. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
kudos to every other country. The disparity between teams, like you're not seeing those massive 10-0 blowouts anymore. So yeah,
Not very often.
really good to
Nope.
see the competition rise up, and
Agreed.
I think we're in for a
I
really
mean,
good
we might
championship.
we might see one on Sunday when Canada plays France.
Fair.
Fair.
Yeah, because I put a note down. Yeah, France lost to the Swiss, and Swiss have a few players, right? They've got Timo Meyer. He had 2 goals. They've got Roman Yossi leading the back end, and a few guys like that. But like you look at France, I don't know who they have.
Yeah, it's very very limited. Let's see. I don't. Yeah, it's very limited on who they have. So, but yeah, Canada plays again tomorrow. They play Switzerland tomorrow, and then they play again on the 15th, and then we go into the quarters starting on the 17th. The only thing sad is I would love to see McDavid versus Draisaitl in the prelims.
I would have
Yeah.
too. That would have been great.
Yeah.
You get to center ice, first puck drop of the game. You got McDavid standing across from Draisaitl in the center dot. I mean,
I seen the reporter ask the question to Draisaitl. It said, "How special would it be if you and McDavid faced off?" And he said, "Well, he better be scared."
yeah,
And then he went on and joked, but he said, "No, it'd be a very very special moment." He said it'd be weird, but once the puck drops, it's hockey all over again, and you're just focused on winning for your team. And he said, McDavid's going to do the best for Canada that he can, and I'm going to do the best for Germany, and this is our tournament.
and I mean, you look at what McDavid did today: 5 goals, 3 assists.
5 goals.
No, like there's 5 goals for Team Canada. He assisted on 3 of them.
There we go. You got her.
Jesus Christ.
I know he's a delusional Oilers fan, but that was a new level.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, give credit where credit's due. He came out like a man possessed. He looked really good today. He was
So
flying.
If you would have told me to bet on who was going to throw the biggest hit to start the game, it wouldn't have been McDavid.
yeah, I think we made the comment in this podcast actually that McDavid never lays hits, and we've never seen it. You'd have to pay big money to see it. Well, you've seen it today.
He drilled them, and I mean, you look at Tom Wilson. I mean, he went out there and did what he did today. There was a moment there in the corner in the offensive zone. There was a player facing the boards, and you could see Wilson going right at him, and he had to choke up on it. I was like, oh, Wilson went for the kill and decided, you know what, I'm going to back it up. But I mean, that's the play of the game, right? Like, this isn't the NHL. This isn't four nations. We all read the rules. There's no fighting. If you get fight, you get ejected from the game.
Wilson doesn't have to fight to be effective, though. He's a great hockey
No,
player in his
he
own.
isn't. He's seen, and yeah,
the intimidation
today.
factor, just having him on the ice, being able to move bodies, you know. Who was it with play Gretzky? Was it McSorley? I'm pretty sure played Gretzky. Marty McSorley. That was his job.
Yep.
You got the second most important job on the ice next to Gretzky, and that's to protect Wayne Gretzky. And so basically that's Wilson's job, is to look out for McDavid. If anything happens to McDavid, he's there to get his back.
That number one line from McDavid, Celebrini, and Wilson, I like it.
I do too.
You could tell, and then even McKinnon talked about it there before and after. You know, he said he couldn't sleep last night a bit because he was nervous, and the practices, the boys weren't, gelling as well as everyone thought they would. But I mean, that's what you're going to get when you got the best players in the world all on one team trying to, they want to be the hero. But now you got to work together, and you got to, pass the puck. You got to shoot more. You got to stuff like that. So but they found their groove. Like I said, the first period was in my opinion, was a bit rocky for Team Canada. But they definitely found their groove. And like I said, Binnington was telling, I think it was Parayko, to chill out, because Parayko was getting a little frustrated there in the defensive zone. And, that's saying a lot when Binnington's telling you to chill out, because I think he's one of the most aggressive players in the league.
100%.
Yeah, normally he's throwing water bottles at Nazem Kadri during interviews, or stealing pucks from Ovechkin. Yeah.
But no, and I mean, you look back and you go back to this when the miracle moment with the United States team happened, and I don't know if you've seen the movie on it or read anything on it, but when the NHL played the Russians, they lost. The Russians had the greatest team in history, and Herb Brooks, the coach for the USA, said it best. He said, it's not that the NHL wasn't good enough, it's that the NHL wasn't willing to change their game to match the international game. And the team that changes their game will beat the Russians. And they did, and they got that moment. But it just comes back to all-star teams don't work unless you're willing to take on role players. And when it comes down to, there was snubs, there was this, there was that, you have to build a team that's going to win the game and not just score 100 goals, but let 100 goals in, or whatever, which way. You're building a team that's going to succeed on the ice as a team and not individuals. And every one of these guys that are on Team Canada are the hero in their team in their own respect, right? They're the guys. So I could see that being a little difficult at first to find your role away from what you're used to. But once they get her going, man, they look good after.
Yeah, no, they do. It's and I mean, Cooper was playing everyone today. Everyone had minutes.
How about that Macklin Celebrini?
That tip. You look at the tip from Celebrini. That was a good tip. But I mean, even Nick Suzuki. I know Biller's not on here to talk about it, but holy shit, that tip! I don't think
gotta
Suzuki
wake up
meant
to talk about Suzuki on this.
Yeah,
one.
No. I will squash that right here, right now. That tip by Suzuki was purely accidental. You could see what he was trying. He tried to get it from McDavid and sweep it across, and he accidentally tipped it. You've seen it all over his face, but.
Oh yeah, like I was just about to say, like it might not have been an intentional tip, but I mean, it was a nice tip nonetheless. It went right above the shoulder and into the net.
Still worked.
It did. I mean, like I said, and I think they said every player on Team Canada today registered at least one shot.
They had at least one shot, yes, sir. So for those watching, if you haven't seen the game today, which I highly doubt, or haven't seen highlights or know the score, Canada won 5-0. Quite the game, I must say. I was very impressed with the boys.
They made a good Czech team look very average. Like they got a line. It's Pasta, Nichas, and Hurdle, and they've got
Oh,
a
phenomenal
decent.
players.
Yeah, they've got a. I think where they struggle is a bit on their back end, but like the Czechs are another team. Like you talked about Germany being a dark horse. Like yeah, they got run over today, but they're another one that could make waves here. They've got some good
Sure.
players, and
They
Canada
do.
Saros in net.
neutralized them completely.
Oh, I wouldn't say when you talk about good players, I wouldn't talk about Saros being a good player this year.
Saros hasn't been bad, man. He puts up some decent numbers on a terrible team. And Nashville's been rolling as of late. They've been playing pretty solid hockey recently.
Yeah, but I think you got it mixed up because Cyrus is on the Finns.
Shit, you're right, I do.
But however, that does lead into who I wanted to bring up. So if you watch 32 Thoughts, Elliot Friedman has been championing this point that Lucas Dostal is the one goalie he doesn't want to run into in a medal round. Because if you've watched them in Anaheim, and there was a game where Colorado played them this year, and they must have shot them like 40 to 20 in that range. And the Ducks won. Stahl stood on his head and defied everything. And Friedman's been preaching it. He's been saying if there's one goalie that could steal a show for you and a one game winner take all, it's that guy. So to neutralize him a bit, like you see now McDavid, give and go, I think it was with Hagel late in the second.
Yep. Yep.
He not only got one, he got two. He got the follow-up save. He's capable of making saves like that look common. He's a very good goalie. I've underappreciated him for quite a while. So I'm very glad that we kind of took a chink out of his armor going forward. Because if we run into him in the medal round, he is my game breaker for the Czechs. He could be the one that could cause an upset.
I can see it.
Yeah. But otherwise, I mean, I was what do you guys think of the lines? I mean, we got Binner net. Any comments on the line combos? Anything you liked, anything you didn't like?
Like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed the McDavid, Celebrini, Wilson line. Another one as well. Like I said, you had Crosby. Who was it? Crosby, Hagel, and no, who was on Crosby line? It was
Crosby,
Crosby,
Marner, and Stone.
Stone. And I
Yeah.
mean, you've seen it today. Marner putting on the wheels and putting on the show, and a nice, beautiful pass to Stone, and bada bing,
Backhand
bada boom, went in the
sauce.
net. It was
Yeah.
beautiful, right? It
Like
was a nice goal.
until they slowed it
That's
down, I couldn't see like the amount of height he got on that in tight.
yeah,
Very impressive. The only one
yeah,
that was
and
nicer was McDavid to McKinnon. Same thing. It was like a flop shot
yeah.
over
And I
the
mean, at the
crease.
same time, like when you have McKinnon and you got McDavid down in front, but on each side of your goalie, like what are you gonna do? You're not
Shit
gonna
your
do anything.
pants and put on a diaper.
Yeah.
Like you're just gonna sit there and be like, okay, we'll just stand here because if we try, we're gonna look like fools if we try to intercept anything. And like I said, I think the power play. I think they were on the power play for what 15 seconds when it went in. But I mean, you got a power play that runs off of Makar, Crosby, McDavid, McKinnon, and Reinhardt. I mean, you can take Reinhardt and you can put any other player in there, and
Put
it's still
any
the
other
top
player on Team Canada in that mix.
It's still the top. Still the top power play.
I think you could sit that fourth guy just to make it even, and they would still run circles around
I
you.
agree.
Exactly right. Like,
Yeah.
and then you got your third line, which was that had Suzuki, McKinnon,
and Hagel.
and Hagel.
Yeah.
Like I said, Hagel. I mean, I think he's there. He did well in the Four Nations. I think he's there because Cooper's there. You could, in my opinion, you could swap him out with Jarvis as well. I'd like to see Jarvis play. I
say he gets a run at some point here for sure.
I think they do too. I think he does, but no, it was good. And like I said, you talk about depth and the fact that McKinnon's playing where he's playing. But like Devin said in our chat earlier, it's McKinnon's also a shutdown guy, right? He has the speed to back check. He has what he needs, and no, it's the lines are good. And then the fourth line was Bennett, Marchand, and
Nope. Horvat. Horvat, who had a beautiful goal, by the way. Watching him move through that the neutral zone, like I was a bit wary of him because on the day they announced the Olympic roster, he had a minor injury and there's some concern, but he was fine. Watching him fly like that, I've never really given him any credit on speed. He's always been a heavy forward, great face-off guy,
He's a
but
big body.
big body, but man, he was
Yeah.
cruising and also a depth finish. I mean, that little backhand between the 5 hole, like you see a lot of guys, that's what the top goal scorers are doing, right? You're not roofing it top corner all the time. It's more of that deception. And that was a beautiful finish. So yeah, Bo Horvath looking good. I love him in that fourth line role too.
But yeah, he did look good. But I do. There's one line I want to see at some point through this tournament, just especially playing against the U.S. I'd love to see Marchand, Wilson, and Bennett on that fourth line and just make those boys' lives fucking miserable. That would be the most miserable line to ever play against in hockey, physically and mentally.
Mm.
Yeah,
I would
no,
love it.
it would be a wicked line, especially like you said, especially against the U.S. You got Kachuk and the Kachuk brothers and Miller there, but no, and then like you have your D pairing, which was obviously how we all figured it was going to go. Taves McCarr.
Speaking of
But
D pairings,
we did lose a massive piece today. I don't
there
know
you
how
go.
long
Yep.
it's supposed to be out, but Morrissey did leave in the second period and did not return. He was sick prior to the game. I think he said that he missed practice the day before. He came to the arena and then they had to drive him back to the hotel, which the boys are staying in their own hotel. They're not staying around the village. They need time to mentally prepare for themselves and knock out all the noise. And like you said, McKinnon said it best. We've seen a few photos of the guys here and there at different events, but McKinnon said it best. I'm not here to tour around. I'm not here to socialize. I'm here to win a gold medal. And I mean, that's the mentality of McKinnon through and through. I think we have the same mentality with McDavid and Crosby. So no, I think Canada's going to run away with it. I think they're going to have some challenges. I think U.S. will be the challenge, but I think they'll face U.S. in the finals.
So yeah, quickly before we go, how do you guys find the early start times? Where are you watching the games? How are you getting on time to watch the games? You doing it at work? What are you doing?
So I did manage tomorrow I'm busy, so I'll have my phone and I'll be trying to tune in, but if I'm in a low reception area or down in the middle of some ship, not happening, but I'll be tuning in when I can and trying to listen in.
It's not really early games for them like it is for us.
No, of course not.
But today's game was what, 1 o'clock, 1:40 for you guys? I think
no, 11:30 for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was 8:40 a.m. for us.
Yeah.
I was jackhammering a floor with my Bluetooth headphones and listening. I'll give a shout out to CBC. You can get all the games on CBC Gem for free, I'm pretty sure. So turned on CBC Gem, flicked it on the earphones, was jackhammering away, listening to the hockey game, trying to get the best of it. And yeah, it's rough, early starts. I'd love to be going to a bar or something at 5 p.m., 6 p.m. with everybody else watching these hockey games. But it is what it is.
Good thing is, though, gold medal game is, I mean, it's early as fuck. It's 8:10 Eastern time. But it is on a Sunday, so that's 5:10. That's 6:10 for us, Ryan.
6:10. Yeah, I'll be up anyway, so it's all good.
Yeah.
So we'll
So we're doing a watch party for that, and initially it was like, oh yeah, we'll do a big dinner, we'll do a barbecue, yeah, all that, and then we looked at the time. It's like, okay, we're doing brunch.
Yeah.
No, it's like Canada's game tomorrow. It is 3:10 Eastern time.
That's Friday, right? Yes.
Yeah. And then
Friday,
on
3:10
Sunday it is 10 a.m. Eastern time.
And they're playing France on Sunday?
France on Sunday and Switzerland tomorrow.
Pretty easy round robin. Not easy, I shouldn't say that, but a pretty
not hard.
Pretty forgiving round robin for Team Canada to start this out.
I like that we had Czechia right at the gate, kind of get you into the flow, and now they've got 2 games where they can kind of polish up, play around with it a bit. Cooper wants to mess around with a few line combinations. He wants to put Sid, Nate, and Marchand on a line. do that against France. Yeah, it gives you a couple, almost like you had your one big game. You've got 2 tune-ups, and now you can blend into
Because
your
if
championship round.
like I said, the first period, the boys looked a little rusty. Like I said, everyone wants to be the hero, but once they found their groove, it was kind of like a practice today. Like, and that's saying something against the Czech team, right? Like second, third period when the guys finally found their footing and how to play together and stuff. Like I said, it was more. It looked like for me, it was 50% of what they could do.
Sorry, who did you say they were playing tomorrow again?
Switzerland.
Switzerland, right. So, and that was
Yeah.
at 3:10 Eastern
So
time?
1:10 time.
1:10 Alberta time. All right.
Yeah.
So, boys, I got to go get the kids to bed. Canada with a big win over Czechia today, 5-0. Hopefully, we can continue that again tomorrow and into Sunday. And yeah, we'll be coming at you again with these mini series over the next 10 days, I think the Olympics runs for.
Yeah.
Right on, boys. Great chat. We'll see you next time. Go Canada!
I hope Mr. Billard had a good nap.
For sure. We miss you, buddy.
Yeah.
I hope the boys at the power company give you shit for this one.
Yeah. Oh, they should.
Oh, they will.
All right, boys. Have a good night.
Have a good
Until
one.
next time.
This is the 5 for Fighting podcast.
This is the 5 for Fighting podcast.
Fantasy hockey, breaking down the lines. Matchups, injuries, hot takes, and trades. No clickbait noise, no overplayed clips. If there's an edge to find, we already checked.
Parlays, we got them for days.